Hey, almost seventh graders, happy Wednesday. We started to kind of review all the data displays that we did so far in online learning. Today, we're going to review the kind of number stuff that we've done. You want to make sure you have it down. It's essential that you know this to be a successful sixth grader. So today, you're just showing that you are ready to move on to seventh grade. Go ahead and do your PDN. Pause your video and come back when you're done. Okay, pretty straightforward question here. It's length times width times height. Top times bottom. Top times top times top. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4 times 4 is 16. So 1/16 foot. I'm going to go ahead and put it to the third power because I know all volumes have to be a third power. If you put cubic feet, if you put feet cubed, that's totally fine as well. You just put the 3 in there. I'll know what you mean, and I'll mark it as okay. All right. Summarizing numerical data. Today is the last week that we'll be learning new material for sixth grade math. Starting next week, you're going to be reviewing stuff that we already learned so that you're sharp and ready to go for seventh grade. Today, we're going to look at all the numerical data, numbers, and measurements that we studied over the last month. I'll review all of them in the example, so just make sure you take notes with me. So in seventh grade, you're going to be expected to take notes on your own. We're going to do that here as well because we're getting you ready for seventh grade. So right now, this box is blank. As you watch the video with me, you'll fill it out. Our first measurement that we've studied is mean. What is mean? Mean is the average of the numbers, okay? Mean is a measure of average. When we say things like average, we mean mean. How do I find the mean? I add up all the numbers. And then after I've added up all the numbers, my second step is to divide, I'll spell it right, divide by how many numbers there are. Okay, so 2 steps for finding the mean. Add them all up, divide how many there are. We said in a previous video, mean, Mr. Magnet is mean because he makes us do all this work just to find an average. The median, what is the median? The median is the middle of a set of numbers. To find the median, again, we have 2 steps. First, and this is the one that people sometimes forget, is line them up from least to greatest. And then 2, you've done this a ton of times by now, you find the middle. And I know everyone has different strategies for how they do that. Some people cross off each end until they're in the middle. Some people know that if there's 9, the middle one's going to be 5. Whatever strategy you're using at this point of the year is totally fine. What is mode? Mode is the data value that occurs the most. And I spelled the cursor wrong. And how do I find it? I find the number that happens the most. Pretty straightforward. Range. Range is how many numbers are covered by the data. And to find the range, I do the highest number or value minus the lowest number or value. Value and number are interchangeable here. I'm just talking about the biggest number minus the smallest number. Upper quartile, what is it? It is the middle of the larger half of the data. It is also the marker of where 75% of the data falls. So 75% of the data falls below the upper quartile. 25% of the data falls above the upper quartile. How do I find it? I'm going to look at my median line. Because remember, you always have to do the median first. And then it's the middle of the bigger half of the numbers. And we'll look at an example of how you do that below. Lower quartile is the middle of the smaller half of the data. And this one is the marker of where 25% of the data falls. Remember that 25% of the data falls below the lower quartile. where 75% would occur above. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to look at my median numbers, and this time I'm going to find the middle half of the smaller half of the numbers. Variability, what is variability? It's how spread out or close together a set of data is. Variability, it's never going to ask you what's the variability. That's where we have to do two different types of measurements. We have to find either mean absolute deviation or interquartile range. Mean absolute deviation, what is mean absolute deviation? It's the average distance of each number from the mean. Steps to find this. First, again, we did this during week 6 or week 7, I believe. First, we have to find the mean. That's always going to be our first step for math. Second, we have to find the distance of each number from the mean. And third, we have to find the average or mean of the numbers from step 2. Again, we'll look at an example of that below. Last measurement that we've learned is interquartile range. Interquartile range is the middle 50% of the data. And how do we find the interquartile range? We do the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. Okay? I have a set of numbers here. Today on the video, I'm just going to do this example, and then you're going to do the exact same thing for problem set 1. So I'm not necessarily going to go over answers for problem set 1 today, but I am going to show you on the example of how you should do it. Okay, the data points below represent the number of miles Lance traveled each day and that he biked during the month of April. So these are all the days he went on his bike, and this is how many miles he went. Use this information to give the following measurements. First one is mean. My first step in finding mean is add these all up. If I add these all up, I'm going to get 81. How did I do it so fast? I used a calculator. You're almost 7th graders. You can use a calculator. Next step, 81 is not my mean. I have to divide 81 by how many numbers there are here. There are 9 numbers here. So 81 divided by 9, hopefully you don't need a calculator for that, is 9. My mean is 9. For median, first thing I have to do is I have to line them up from least to greatest. Let's see here. 4, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 20. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Duh, I already said that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Great. If there's 9 numbers, I know the middle one is going to be my median. So the middle number in the set is 8. So I will say that the median is 8. Mode. Mode is the number that occurs the most. I already have them lined up. I see that the only one that happens more than once is 4. Range. Range I find by doing my biggest number, 20, minus my smallest number, 4. 20 minus 4 equals 16. My range is 16. Upper quartile. Remember that the upper quartile is the middle half of the bigger set of numbers. I don't include 8, so the middle set of these 4 numbers is right in between 11 and 12. In between 11 and 12 is 11.5. Lower quartile is the middle of the lower set of numbers, so it's these 4 numbers. The middle is right here. What's in between 4 and 6? It's 5. Interquartile range is found by doing the biggest number, the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. Lower quartile is 5, which gives me 6.5. So 11.5 minus 5 is 6.5. Mean absolute deviation is probably the one that's going to take you the most. Most time, I have to figure out, step 1 was to find the mean. I already did that. Step 2 is to find out how far away each number is from the mean. How far away is 4 from the mean? 5. How far away is 4 from the mean? 5. How far away is 6 from the mean? 3. How far away is 7 from the mean? 2. How far away is 8 from the mean? 1. How far away is 9 from the mean? It's the same place, so I put 0. How far away is 11 from the mean? 9, 10, 11, 2. How far away is 12 from the mean? 3. How far away is 20 from the mean? 20 is 11 away from 9. Again, I don't care if you use a calculator. Add all these numbers up. When you do, you get 32. 32 is not our mean absolute deviation. We still have to divide that by 9 because there's 9 numbers right here. When I plug that into my calculator, I'm going to get a big, long number. 32 divided by 9. I know that I can stop one spot after the decimal, so I'm just going to write my mean absolute value as 3.5. I don't have to write 3.555555555. 3.5 mean absolute deviation. Okay, problem set 1 is exactly the same as problem set 2, so you won't see any answers on here. Practice set 2. Again, these are multiple choice on the exact same concepts. If you're stuck, it also tells you where you can go back to in Google Classroom. If you don't remember how to do mean, go back to week 5 Monday and check the video or check the notes to refresh it. If you don't know how to do mode, week 5 Friday. If you don't know how to do median, week 5 Wednesday. Range, week 5 Friday. Interquartile range, week 8 Thursday. Mean absolute deviation, week 7 Tuesday. Those are the things on Google Classroom that you can go back to check the video or check the notes to make sure you have it right. There are 19 questions today. I'm just going to give you a freebie. I'm going to make it out of 20. Just like yesterday, you need to get at least 10 out of 20 right. Otherwise, I will return it to you, and it'll be marked as missing until you get at least 10 out of 20 right. Once you get past that 10 out of 20, that determines your grade. If you only get 10 right, your grade on this is a 50%. That's not what anyone wants to go into 7th grade. So try and get 18, 19, 20 of them right to make sure that you're in really good shape for 7th grade. If you have questions, give me a text or call, 847-769-4731. And tomorrow, remember, we're starting our project, so make sure you're back on Google Classroom tomorrow.